It feels loud. It feels boisterous. I can hear talking. I can hear laughing. I can hear babies crying. Yeah, there's a lot of activity in this house, like at one time activity.
The story begins here. Ira Sturdevant was born in Vermont in 1793, the son of a Revolutionary War veteran. At age 20, he joined the War of 1812, defending his country in battles he would write about where cannonballs flew and trees crashed around him. After the war, he married a Zenith, and together they raised a large family, moving west before finding their home in Iowa. In 1852, the sons William and Lafayette left Illinois to explore Iowa and find land for their father, using his War of 1812 land claim. They worked in Casqueton, Iowa, where local Native Americans told them about a beautiful valley across the Cedar River. Curious, they traveled north and found a stunning spot with grassy prairies, wildflowers, and the river flowing across what is now Cedar Lane Road in Waverly. Excited, they returned home to share the discovery with their family. In 1854, William and Lafayette moved their families to Waverly, building cabins in the area. Later that year, their parents Ira and Zenith Sturdevant joined them. Ira claimed 40 acres of land within new limits for his war service. William purchased 80 acres nearby. Together, they allowed streets and alleys to be added, creating neighborhoods that still bear their name today, the Ira and William Sturdevant additions in southwest Waverly. In 1855, the Sturdevant family continued to establish themselves in Waverly. Ira, with the help of his family, began preparing for the construction of his brick house, which would be completed in 1856. The family worked on their land, farming and building up the early infrastructure of the growing settlement. The home has now become a beacon of hospitality throughout the years, especially for travelers and Native Americans. They would often stop to rest by the fireplace, sharing meals and stories with family before continuing their journeys. Life in Waverly wasn't without its hardships, especially in the cold months of winter. In 1862, Ira passed away from tuberculosis in his beloved brick house. His wife followed 5 years later. The Iowa flood of 2008 caused some damage to the house. The house was then abandoned and faced a threat of demolition. Other homes belonging to the descendants in the area were already demolished. In 2009, the house fell into foreclosure. Descendants made Waverly aware that its oldest surviving home was in danger. The house was purchased later that year in a sheriff's sale, and now belongs to a non-profit organization to restore the home. After hearing about SIP's experience with the Bremer County Historical Society, volunteers and descendants grew curious to see if anything might still linger with the house.
Tell you like what I've got in the past couple of days.
Okay, yeah.
There is a man, a very proud man, connected to this home, and I feel like he comes first, if that makes sense. And then there is a boy. I wouldn't call him a little boy. I feel like anywhere from like 8 to 10 maybe, and he feels like generations separated from this man. From this older man. And he talked a lot about harsh winters, that they were painful. Can you describe the boy and do you see them? They're really proud of leaving a legacy. Even if the stories are muddled, I hear them say, we're really proud of leaving a legacy. I feel really drawn toward this room. Now, this room was many, many things. It was never like one particular space. I see a bed in here, like head of household bed in here right now. I feel like they're saying, to keep the home fires burning. There was a bedroom in here to keep the home fires burning. Whatever that might mean. Not always. There was a time period where that was the case. I do not want to go down there. right now.
That's
I just got like I feel like something to me, and it could be just them saying, "Hey, look over here." But I felt like I saw something kind of move a little bit over there, and I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not going down there." No, not yet. Yeah, I would go down there with somebody else. When I said this house wasn't originally pink, this house was originally natural. That's the word that came up, was natural. So whatever that means, that it was never it wasn't painted
Yep.
originally. So it must have been brick or something.
Yep.
Okay. Yep, that's all right. Am I doing my flashlight up here?
Here, here's my headlamp.
These steps have been reinforced multiple times. I feel like. I don't feel like that. I know this wasn't that. This. I don't feel like that's original. I feel like there has to be either planks or pine underneath these floors. Yeah, I feel like there's the word that comes to mind is piecemealed. I feel like the spaces are piecemealed, and this is not what the original house looked like at all. Like it was lost. Like the original home and the way it looked must have been lost. So we're not really sure. Maybe if we have floor plans, but there's just something that they're saying that this is not how it was. Different from here. There's quite a few people that want to say something about this space, and they have ownership to it. So it leads me to believe that they've lived here, or they owned the home somehow, or they have their heart is in this house, whether they worked on the home, or whether they lived here, or whether they loved people that lived here, if that makes sense. That's what I'm feeling. And now I feel like somebody is showing me, and this is like all the way from, like, you could smell the pies all the way from downstairs up here. My pies were so good that you could smell them all the way up here. And she's a younger woman. This lady was very friendly and always found joy in everything that she did. I feel like she lived here much later than originally. I feel like the guy that I caught the other day must have been the original owner of this home. But I feel like, why do I feel like he didn't live here for long? But he lived here for, like, not in this home. Like, he lived here in this home, but not necessarily, I mean, he lived in Waverly, but not necessarily this home. Is that making sense there? Like, he lived here not his whole life in this house, but he lived in Waverly for the rest of his life. And I feel like I'm seeing people walking like towards, like they're walking in the woods and they're walking towards something, and then you get to this space and you see the river, like up, like they're up high and they look down and they see the river. I hear welcoming. I feel like that's their first experience here. Like I'm being drawn to that. And I actually forgot. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So there's a lady of the house that loved flowers. And so when I was at work, I was drawn to buy one of those flower shots to leave here. It's almost like she was like, bring some flowers.
Coming into this investigation, my knowledge was quite limited. I knew that this home was the oldest surviving home in Waverly, Iowa, and our team would have the rare opportunity to sit by the exact fireplace where the Native Americans gathered at in the 1800s. This investigation is also a full circle moment for us, because this directly links us to the Native American tribe that was once at James Newell's property in Janesville, Iowa. In this investigation, we used the PSB7 Spirit Box. It is a tool that rapidly scans radio frequencies AM and FM, creating static and short bursts of audio. The idea is that the spirits can use the noise or fragmented signals to communicate by forming words or phrases. To limit the power of suggestion, we also used noise-canceling headphones and blindfolds. The headphones blocked out external sounds, allowing the investigator to focus solely on the audio coming from the spirit box, while the blindfold ensured they weren't influenced by visual cues.
Who was here?
Express.
Am I expressing the music?
Gordon.
What's your name?
War.
Who was in war?
He won.
Who all went to war?
It's been warm.
Do you want to talk to us?
Did he return from war?
Attacked.
We're part of the North or the South.
I want to correct you. Better.
What does he need to know?
200,000.
Was that how many deaths there were? Or troops?
$1. That's $1.
$1? That's a lot of money back then. Were you rich?
Property.
$1. Was the property? Was it?
Property.
Yeah.
How many acres did you own?
2 A's.
She's making a noise again.
It happened to all of us.
Did you cross a river to get here?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Where'd you come from?
A closet. Closet kids.
Can you tell us who we're speaking to?
Stand 1. Wild horses.
What's your name?
Kidnap me? See, I hear a voice over here.
My voice.
Okay, we're talking now. Okay, let's ask questions.
Where are you from?
Stop. I'm different. Help us?
Our team, during this investigation, we had many joyful moments. But this shush took us by surprise during our review of our evidence. We are now upstairs, and just in a few seconds, we'll be discussing how quiet this house is.
Yeah, it's a lot quieter than it is normally.
Do you want me to leave?
What? Do you want Dane to leave? Great.
Is that yes or no?
I think that was a yes.
Okay. If I leave, will you talk?
Okay, done. Are you done talking to us?
Is that head really necessary up there?
Leave. You want us to leave? We're just here to tell your story. Can you talk to us for a few and then we'll leave here in a little bit? Please. Yeah, can we talk for like 10 minutes and then we'll leave? Let you get some rest?
Are you the only one here?
What?
Are you the only one here?
Man. A man? What's the man's name? Did someone see you? Have you appeared to people in the house before?
It's just really odd. Like I'm hearing a lot of buzzing in my left ear. It's just like there's something here. It's just like they're just kind of,
Voices.
like taking a back seat.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, we want to talk to you.
Observing.
Yeah.
They don't really connect.
Do you want to share anything with us?
Funny.
Were we laughing?
Yep.
This house feels happy. This is a happy house, isn't it? Did you have a lot of good memories in this house?
Bullshit.
Did you die in this home?
Outside.
Why do
Cattle.
Cattle? Why do you stay with this house?
Stay.
Mm-hmm. This is your home, isn't it?
Baby.
Did you have your babies here?
Yep.
How many babies were born in this house? What would you like to share with a group that's trying to save this house?
Faith.
Faith about what?
Bodies.
How many spirits are in this house?
I got 2.
Many.
Can you give us a number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Stop.
Is Linda right with that there's 2 spirits?
No.
Oh. Can you tell us any of their names?
No. Hard.
Were there babies born in this room?
Shot.
I can feel like there's babies born in this room.
Did you have babies born in this room?
No.
Were there babies born upstairs here?
Touch.
Who are you touching?
You. Alpha.
Who's the alpha?
Me.
Can you tell me your name? Have we spoke before?
Guy.
Yeah, I knew you were a guy.
Pure.
Who are you?
Psst, psst.
Do I know you?
No. Rascals.
You think we're rascals or you were a rascal?
No.
Okay. Who was a rascal?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Who was a rascal?
Was your back sore?
Minister.
Did you have a back injury?
Haha.
Can you confirm, did you hurt your back or did that cause you a lot of pain?
Dane, can we upstairs?
Yep.
Is it okay if Dane comes back up?
Loser.
What? Loser? Loser? Loser?
Do you want Dane to go back downstairs? Or can he stay up here and chat?
Go sleep.
You want me gone?
Sweet.
Okay, sounds like bye-bye.
Bye, Dane. Sorry, you're kicked out of your investigation. Okay, Dane's going. We're here to talk. Who are we talking to? Do you remember your name? Who are we talking to now?
Mommy.
Are you looking for mommy?
Mm-hmm.
How old are you?
Are you 8 years old?
Twice.
You like to play with toys?
Are you 8 years old?
Maybe.
Do you want them to get some toys here for you to play? Would you like some toys? There's a little bear on the steps if you want to play with.
Old.
You want some old toys?
Are you too old for bears?
Yeah.
What kind of toys do you like to play with?
Guns.
Should Dane stop playing the flute?
Yeah.
I like you. You're funny. Do you love the flute? Or do you love the laughter?
Stop it.
Do you want me to ask Dane to stop?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Dane, can you please stop?
Oh my god.
Sorry about that.
Can I fall asleep right here?
My ears.
Does it hurt your ears? Mine too.
Hot.
It's hot. Who are we talking to now?
Do you have a middle name?
David?
Hi.
Are you going to bed?
A lot of things.
A lot of things. Should we let Ava rest for a little bit?
Take a break.
Okay. We'll take a break. Thank you so much for talking to us. We really appreciate it. Are you crying?
Just feel really bad.
Why?
I don't know.
Everything okay?
Maybe just having a reaction.
is really, really, really sad.
They said to give you a break.
There's just something I don't know. I can just feel someone's really sad. They're happy, but they're really sad. I don't know. I picked up really childlike presents. It kept very, very. It was a very, very sweet little. I think it was a boy. I'm pretty sure. But they were. I can tell something not very pleasant happened. I don't know. I kept picking up water was involved for some reason.
Drowning.
Not necessarily drowning, but he kept bringing up bubble baths. I don't know. I pick up something traumatic happened in that situation like that. He kept repeating the number 8, so I'm guessing that's probably how old he was.
She asked if you were 8 years old.
Asked if you were 8.
Really?
The story doesn't stop here. We had the great privilege of talking to the Ira Sturdevant board, which included Ira's great-great-great-grandson, Rick. We took this opportunity to ask him about our findings.
Yeah, Ira Sturdevant was my great-great-great-grandfather.
I asked Linda to elaborate more on what she saw about the man with suspenders.
He approached and he has suspenders on, and he had a very elongated face that indicated that it changes with the seasons. I could only assume that maybe he presented with a beard, like a full mustache and beard, and I'm not sure if that means anything to you at all.
The different sort of more vague things like men in suspenders or men with a beard or, all of those kinds of things, all of those make sense. I mean, there's a recognizable one at least of those kinds of men that you were describing in the family history.
Before this interview, I was doing some more research on 2A. I did find something. Let's take a look.
He had an 1812 war veterans right to about 160 acres. He took 80 acres there in Waverly.
That because Ira had a working farm there on that entire block, maybe it would have been about 2 acres with the carriage barn. If the property went beyond the alley to the next street.
Our team thought it was very important to ask about this moment.
What would you like to share with a group that's trying to save this house?
Faith.
I will tell you that when we first acquired the house in 2009, and I was in there working that first summer pretty much by myself. I had a strong sense of, but we're historians, so I don't know, but I had a strong sense of Ira Nasina's presence there. Were the part she played about faith, they were extremely religious from the Second Great Awakening in upstate New York, where they started moving west. And family still has the Bible that they got, bear out his strong faith. At one point, he heard a preacher across the river in Waverly after they moved there, and he yelled out, because it was a small community, it was quiet. You could hear a circuit riding preacher clear across the river. And Ira said, "Amen, Lord, you come on down through the roof and I'll pay for the shingles." We know that was one of the things that was passed down in the family, that shows kind of his strong faith and his sense of humor.
During our conversation, we're talking about the possibility of leaving a toy gun for this unknown boy. However, Rick brings up something very interesting.
The little boy who was interested in toys, one of the things that they found, that one of the previous owners found, was a child's toy. I would say probably from the 19-teens or 20s. I'm sure there were lots of children growing up in that house over the generation.
The final question that we wanted to ask about, it was about this war-related moment.
200,000.
I don't know about that number.
It's hard to imagine that specific a statistic of that size coming from those people to those people then, but that doesn't matter. I think it maybe matters that they were talking about more of an impression. Well,
yeah. I mean, Ira was an 1812 war veteran. That's how he came to get that land for that service. He was in the Battle of Sackett's Harbor, the second battle, which was a very large battle, and he lost his brother-in-law there. His brother-in-law was killed by the Native American forces who were allied with the British. And his older brother David was a sergeant in the unit that Ira was serving in. But the Sturdevant members, every generation except one, served. Ira and Nasina lost. Caleb. They lost Caleb and William, and one of their grandsons in the Civil War, and a number of other family members died in the Civil War. And then big wars, hundreds of thousands of men who were great grandsons, I guess, of Ira's. They fought in World War I, and they saw a lot of death there.
The answer that you just heard may given us some possible insights to what it could have been. But we are not a team that forces puzzle pieces together.
Well, the one sense that you got from a spirit that I didn't mention yet, but I think I should, was the person who said that they'd been in Waverly all their life, but they hadn't always lived here or something like that.
He lived in Waverly, but not necessarily this home. Is that making sense there?
That's my grandpa Sturdevant. Frank was born in Waverly, But his father, Ed Sturdevant, moved to North Dakota, to Cayuga, because he was a finishing carpenter, built a lot of the staircases in Waverly, and he in the 1890s, and he got fine sawdust in his lungs, and the doctor recommended that he go out where there was fresh air. So he went to Cayuga, North Dakota, because he was a great hunter, and there's great duck hunting up there, and fishing in the summertime.
Yeah, there's lots of awful photographs of rows and rows and rows of dead ducks.
So Frank up there occasionally in the summertime, but he did all of his schooling in Waverly. Grew up in Waverly, died in Waverly, and is buried in Waverly, as is his father Ed, by the way. But I was thinking immediately, he would be the one of any of the generations on my direct lineage that would speak to you that way.
Through this wonderful conversation and this fantastic location, we learned so much about the Sturdevant's legacy in Waverly, Iowa. We are very grateful for this opportunity. Please consider donating to the Ira Sturdevant House in Waverly, Iowa, so history can be preserved for future generations. As we've always said, history comes first and then the paranormal. The donation information will be on screen and in the comment section. Signing off, Sips.